Welcome to another edition of GSC's Digital Network Update Show presented by Florida's Space Coast. Remember, you can head to visitspacecoast.com to learn more about a vacation to remember. Welcome to this GSC Digital Network Update. I'm Jim Cavall, and let's start things off on the gridiron, where it was yet another intense week of GSC football as we get closer to crowning not only a 2014 Gulf South Conference football champion, but a 2014 NCAA Division II champ, as the playoffs will kick into high gear later this month. A pair of one-loss teams led the way at the top of the GSC football standings following Delta State's 33-28 home upset over North Alabama on Saturday. DSU never trailed in the game, building a 17-0 edge at the break, only to see UNA storm all the way back by pulling within 5 points twice during the final 8 minutes. With just over 5 minutes left to play, the Lions were stopped short on a 4th and 1 call on its own 11-yard line. The Statesman offense capitalized with a touchdown on the following possession. Florida Tech put a damper on Shorter's homecoming in dramatic fashion, pulling off a 34-30 shocker when Xavier Milton hauled in a 41-yard touchdown pass as time expired. FIT trailed by 2 points, 21 seconds on its own 29-yard line, but the Panthers drove to the Hawks' 41-yard line, setting up the game-winning Hail Mary heave. Valdosta State remained in the hunt for the NCAA playoff bid they've so yearned to achieve this year, earning a 24-17 decision at West Alabama in the GSC football game of the week. DSU shook off some early struggles to take a 14-point lead with 11:33 left to play. UWA closed within 7 points at 1:51. The Tigers drove into Blazers territory in the game's final drive. VSU's Donatello Brown intercepted Kyle Caldwell's Hail Mary attempt, which would have made 2 Hail Mary attempts for wins this past week in GSC football. West Georgia also remained in the postseason conversation after stretching its home record to 5-0 via 55-14 triumph over Mississippi College. UWG rolled up 400 yards rushing, which ranked 7th in the all-time GSC single-game record books, led by Seth Hensley's 140-yard day. The 2014 Men's and Women's GSC Soccer Championships and the 2014 Men's and Women's Cross Country Championships both coming up over the next week, as we'll have the GSC Women's Soccer Championship returning to Brosnan Park in Pensacola, Florida. Shorter, 6th seed, will take on West Florida, the host, as the 6 and 3 seeds will meet in match 1 at UWF Tuesday, November 4th, 5 p.m. Central Time. The winner face the number 2 seed in match number 3 at Brosnan Park on Friday, November 7th, as Valdosta State holds that 2nd seed in the Women's Championship Tournament. On the other side of the bracket, match number 2 will be at the University of West Alabama, as Christian Brothers, the 5 seed, will take on the number 4 seed UWA. And then the winner will go down to Brosnan Park to play in match number 4 on Friday, November 7th against the number 1 seed, the University of North Alabama. From there, the winners play on Sunday, November 9th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time in match number 5, where we will crown a 2014 Women's Soccer Champ in the Gulf South Conference. Meanwhile, on the men's side, number 6 seed Delta State will take on number 3 seed Alabama Huntsville on November 4th, as UAH will host that match, and the winner will travel down to Brosnan Park. In match number 3, they'll take on the number 2 seed West Alabama on Friday, November 7th. And then when you look at the other side of the bracket, number 5 seed West Florida will travel to Shorter, the number 4 seed, on November 4th in match number 2 of the tournament. The winner travels back down to Brosnan Park if it's West Florida, or if it's Shorter, they'll head down there and they'll take on the number 1 seed Christian Brothers. The winners of those matches will meet in match number 5, November 9th, just after the women's champ is crowned, the men's champ will be crowned in a match that takes place 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, the men's and women's cross-country championships returning just across the street. GSC headquarters is located in Hoover, Alabama, as we'll have all the GSC teams on hand represented, ready to go. So we'll crown team champs and individual champs in GSC men's and women's cross-country. The results of those things coming up on the next edition of GSC Digital Network's Update Show, and we'll preview the volleyball championships, which are getting yet closer as we get close to crowning champs in all these sports, including GSC football and getting into NCAA playoff action in Division II. Until then, I'm Jim Cavall, and you have been checking out yet another edition of GSC's Digital Network Updates. A reminder that this week's edition of GSC's Digital Network Update Show is provided by Florida's Space Coast. You can find them on the web at visitspacecoast.com to learn more about a vacation to remember. We'd like to thank our friends at Florida's Space Coast for presenting each week's update on the GSC Digital Network. And until next time, I'm Jim Cavall, and this has been your GSC Digital Network Update.